Hello, hello, Hola Next Gen Collective. Thanks for joining us today as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month by honoring the achievements of a new generation of professional women. I'm Sue Ladies, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Tatiana Rivera, a paid leave expert who passionately advocates for comprehensive paid time off and leave programs. She partners with employers to design competitive leave programs to meet employees' needs and align with employers' goals, while complying with the ever-changing global and state leave requirements. She's joining us today to share some of her wisdom and how to prepare for parental leave. Tatiana, thank you so much for joining us today. How's your week going so far?
Thank you so much for having me. It is a great week so far. It's sunny here in Denver, and I couldn't ask for anything other than just to be here with you. So thank you.
Thank you for having us. Let's start with breaking the ice here a little bit. Whenever I run it with another Latino or Latina, I always ask a few quick questions para conectar con la cultura. You ready for a rapid fire?
I'm ready. Here we go.
Okay. ¿Chicharrones or tostones?
Tostones.
¿Mango or guayaba?
Guayaba.
¿Día de Reyes or Navidad?
Navidad, for sure.
¿Cortadito or café con leche?
I can't say both. Cortadito.
No, you gotta choose.
Cortadito.
I'm a café con leche person, but cortadito always in the afternoon is good to perk you up.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get a little bit into the nitty gritty here. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do? Like, what is a parental leave consultant, and how did you get even started with this line of work?
That's a great question. So parental leave consultant, it's in the line of human resources consulting, benefits consulting. And really what I do is I work with and partner with employers of all sizes. And their questions are, we want to attract and retain employees. How do we do that? How do we implement parental leave and family leave? And what else should we be thinking about when designing these programs? Is it just a great benefit? And the answer is no, it's not just a great benefit. It's often a compliance component because so many states now are passing paid family leave laws that include parental leave and family leave. So, you got to take time off to care for a sick family member, like your spouse, your child. So all of that's part of that paid family leave programming. But also, and I've written about this as well for Next Gen. It's a part of the pay equity conversation, right? When you pay people to take time off from work, pay women who are often the ones who are the caregivers and the primary caregivers for new children. When you pay them for time off, you're helping to close that pay gap. So all the reasons why I'm an advocate for it. It's a great benefit, compliance, and also pay equity. So that's what I do. And how I got into it is really just luck. I was looking for a job in college, an internship, and ended up at a company that was doing benefits consulting. And I was like, let me try it. And so now here I am 8 years later. That. So.
That's so interesting. I always thought of parental leave as just like mother goes off when she's pregnant, but like family leave, like you mentioned, taking care of a sick family person. I never thought about that. So thank you for bringing that up and opening my eyes to that. How do you help parents to understand their rights and benefits when it comes to taking parental leave? What resources are there? How do you support them?
Sure. So there are a lot of ways to understand your benefits. I'd say the first is ask your company what they have. If you are in a position where you are employed, talk to your HR, find out what kind of benefits you have. Often there's a lot of what we hear is maternity leave or birthing parent leave, which is really just a short-term disability plan. And typically, unfortunately, maybe even not all companies will pay 100% for that time. So it's a great time to ask your HR if you can use other benefits like your time off, if any vacation or sick time, so you get that 100%. So that's one first step I would say. And the second is to ask about what state you're in and ask about what benefits they might have. So for instance, in Colorado, there's going to be a brand new program for employees in Colorado that's rolling out in 2024 that's going to give all employees access to paid family and medical leave, including that parental bonding leave. So ask your HR, and they will definitely have a lot more information about what's available in your state to also supplement that time off. So that's on the leave aspect. And I would also encourage you to ask about what other benefits your company offers. So things like milk storage or shipping, gift cards, meal delivery services, any childcare support if they offer it, whether on-site or subsidized childcare. And also, don't forget about the core benefits, the life insurance, the health insurance. Figure out, what it would take to add that new family member to your policies. And the sooner you get started on that, the better, just to be more informed and prepared and not scrambling at the last minute. So that is first and foremost, know your benefits. The second is know your rights. So even if your employer doesn't have a paid program, a paid company policy, as I mentioned, a lot of those states do have some sort of pay component, but also beyond the pay, there's what we call in the industry job protection. And this is also something you can get through a federal program called the Family and Medical Leave Act, or FMLA. While this program is unpaid, it does grant a lot of employees with certain eligibility requirements, and I won't get into them, but again, ask your HR. That certain employees that meet the requirements can get protection. And what that means is that your employer can't fire you for being pregnant or can't fire you for taking that time off. So when you come back to work after you had your baby, your position should still be there. And that is your right as an employee. There can't be retaliation either. So that's what I mean by know your rights.
Right.
And then finally is, establish a return to work plan with your employer, with your manager. A lot of companies now are really open to the idea of flexibility, of hybrid work, of even remote work. What we have seen some companies do is do a ramp back program where maybe you don't come back full time. Maybe you come in 3 or 4 days and you kind of basically that 4-day work week. So ask your employer, ask your manager to work with you. And the sooner you have those conversations, the more likely it is that you'll be able to actually get them approved and build a plan that's going to be sustainable and it's going to work for you and your family and your team and your manager and everyone. So that's my summary. Your benefits, your rights, and know your return to work plan.
And ask your HR.
Ask your HR.
Yeah. So it sounds pretty overwhelming, for someone who's just starting to think about even this process. So is there like a particular piece of advice to new people that you would give, aside from ask your HR, to stay organized or to stay on the ball? What piece of advice would you give?
That's a great question. I think the best thing you can always do is, at least I do this, is lean on community. Your friends, your community, your peers, people on Next Gen, wherever that is, lean on them because chances are you're not the first one to have a kid or add a new family member to your family. And so there are going to be a lot of people who are so excited to help and can give you resources or other tips. So really lean on your community. And also, back to the HR, get us informed as quickly as you can, and as soon as you can, because again, I'm a planner, so I love to know things way in advance. I hate rushing at the last minute. So just know what information and know what benefits you have available so you can really be prepared and make the plan ahead of time.
I appreciate that. Yeah, community seems to be the ongoing theme here. So how do you manage to stay sane? Like, you need to know so many policies and you work with employers. How do you stay sane and take care of yourself while you're just out there conquering the world?
That's a great question. So again, the community part, I'm not alone in this. I have an incredible team that I work with at Brown & Brown Strategic Non-Medical Solutions, or SNS as we call ourselves. So I have a great team and we all work really well together to help each other. So I am not the expert on every single state and all the details, but I know enough and I know that I have people to help me out if I ever have questions. And then in terms of just staying sane, I do believe in balance, and I do believe in prioritizing self-care. So for me, that looks like, having my cafecito. I need it every morning. Yes, here we go.
Cheers.
Movement. So as I mentioned, it's really nice and beautiful and sunny outside. And so I love getting out for walks when I can. And just making sure that I have a balance in my life between what is work, what are passion projects like Alpha Denver, and then what's stuff for me. So taking walks, a nice little cafecito in the morning.
For me, it's camping. I love just getting out there and being out in nature. So what are some quirkier things or lighthearted things about you that makes you, that you're passionate about, that brings a smile to your face?
Ooh, quirkier things.
Anything.
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 So I really enjoy singing and just like music in general. So I make a lot of playlists for like every moment of my life. I'll have a playlist that's like, this playlist is for when I'm in the mood to make a coffee and it's like 8 a.m. and kind of gloomy. It's like a very specific type of scenario. And I
You
love
are
music.
Organized.
Or I just really enjoy music and I'm like, oh, this would
Yeah.
be great. And I think it's sort of like, we all probably do this at some point, right? It's the whole, it's raining outside, you're in the back seat of your parents' car when you're a kid and you think you're in a music video. It's like that sort of like, fantasize your life and put some music in there. So I love listening to music and I love singing. I was actually in an a cappella group in college too. So
Nice.
that was like a little fun quirk about me, I guess.
Alto, soprano.
I was in the middle, so
Nice.
I could kind of like
good range.
both and flip if I needed to. So
I love it. I like collecting camping gear. I have like multiple versions of the same camping chair, and it's just like stored somewhere. So that's kind of a little bit weird thing about me. So in honor of Women's History Month, I have to ask this question. If you had the chance to dine with an influential Latina from history, alive or dead, it doesn't matter, who would it be and why?
I'm gonna have to go with my girl AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I love her courage. I'm inspired by it. She's my role model when I think about like in moments when it's time to speak up and it's important to speak up, even if I'm scared to say something, I need to say it. So seeing her just get up in front of Congress and say all that she says to hold people accountable, I'm like inspired, and I would love to just sit down with her and hear from her and share my own ideas and maybe get even more inspired and motivated. So.
That's so funny. You're the second Latina Force protagonist that says AOC. I'll have to really look into her career. So last question, where can people find you aside from here on LinkedIn?
It's a great question. So I am on Instagram. I'm probably a bit more active there. And I also have a website called confident-t.com where I blog about career and parental leave, as well as just post whenever I have upcoming events or I'm available for speaking engagements as well. So Instagram, LinkedIn, or my website.
Very nice. I'll be putting your links on the Discord channel. Our next guest is Vanessa Carrel, if you wanted to tune in. She's the founder and CEO of Greeter, and she's going to be sharing some of her insights and tips on traveling alone as a woman, which is super important, including how to plan your trips, what resources to use to ensure that you're safe while traveling, and the benefits of solo traveling. Vanessa will also share some of her favorite destinations when she travels alone, and some of the Latina questions that I ask at the beginning, which are so much fun. I'm getting to know people so well through connecting together. Thank you so much for coming, Tatiana. This was very informative, and I'm going to have to look into some of this advice because I also am planning to have kids one day. So this is a great conversation that also applies to me. So selfishly, I really appreciate you coming to talk to us about this. Whether you are, waiting for the next one, which by the way is tomorrow, make sure to check out our Discord channel. The link is in the description to this event, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you, Sue.
Bye.